What's up? Well, I can't believe it. We finally got something new that we've been waiting for a long time. And it's not the little green turd back here behind me. It's this thing right here. This overweight, underpowered red turd right here, the CRF. Finally picked it up today after a long wait. Thank the Lord, I was number one on the list to pick it up. So, I'm gonna go over a rundown of what I'm going to do on the build here. Overview. First off, what I'm going to do today, tires off. I'm going to throw on what I have here. I have an EN91 for the rear and an AMS Byte MX for the front. That EN91 is a Dunlop. So that's first off the bat. All right, I'm going to throw a little insert in this video, this first video here. I had mentioned I'm doing the tires. So I already went ahead and did those. I'm not doing a tire video. I mean, there's hundreds of them on YouTube of how to do tires. But I'll just kind of go over what I did here. This front one is the AMS Byte MX. They only make them in one size. It's the 21-inch rim, of course. Now, taking this wheel off. Now, this is not a how-to, these instructions, I'm not a mechanic, this is how I did it, so keep that in mind. Loosen the two 10mm bolts, then you have to unscrew the axle. It is threaded into the other fork leg. So, the Honda toolkit does not give you anything, so what this is a standard bolt right here, I believe. And this fits a 9/16 wrench, so I stick it in there, and you could just clamp vice grips on here or something like that. Then I have a 9/16 wrench, and a millimeter wrench will fit this also. Let me see what fits it. Then you just, of course, put it in there, loosen it, get off, you bugger. Okay, hold on here, I'm having an issue. Yeah, shove it in, loosen it, then of course you can use it to tighten it right back up. And I keep this in my toolkit because I also need it, I believe, for the Kawasaki, because they don't give you a tool either that fits in there. Let's see if it fits a millimeter. Yeah, you can use a 14mm, so if you have a 14mm in your toolkit, you don't got to carry a standard wrench with you. That's good. So that's basically what that is. That is 14mm. You can get online and probably get an Allen wrench, I'm sure, 14mm, which will fit in there. You can keep in your toolkit. So, yeah, my tire's on. These actually mount really easy. The IRCs that are on here are very simple to pop off. They're not hard at all. This AMS Byte goes on easy. It's not a tough tire to mount. I balanced it already. You can see the weights down there on my little balancing stand. Then of course you put your tire back in, thread your axle back in. Now I threaded this in and tightened it up, left these loose, took the bike off of the stand. I grabbed the front brake and put weight. I worked the forks up and down, and then I tightened these two up to help get the wheel centered. So I don't know any torque specs on this. I just kind of did it by my little So that's on. Of course, back tire is on. This is a Dunlop EN91, and this is a directional tire. You can see right there how that tread is kind of angled towards the front, the center one there. So again, this one was very easy to mount, not a big deal. I did put heavy duty tubes in both. I didn't put a bead lock. I don't have a bead lock in this or the 300. They just don't have the torque to go ripping Valve stems off. If you want to put one in to be safe, you can. I mean, I have them here. I just didn't use it, and it has a hole. You just pop the plug out and put the bead lock in there if you want to run it. And of course, this one's balanced also. It didn't take as much weight. When you put your tires on too, remember the little yellow dot corresponds with the valve stem on the tube. So we got that done. Taking the back wheel off. 24 millimeter on this side on the nut. 17 millimeter on the axle shaft itself. And of course, all I did with this is loosen the nut, then push the axle partial way out. You can push the axle out to about here, this block out. Slide your wheel forward with the axle still in, and you can pull the chain off, get the chain off, then take your wheel off. Then you can put it all right back on and not even have to mess with your chain adjustments here most of the time. And again, I have no torque specs. I just gave it a cranking and got her tight. So stay tuned for the rest of the build, and a lot to come. We're going to do a lot of changes to this baby. See ya. Then we will address handlebars, grips, probably put some wraparound handguards on. Got to get rid of the big ugly factory mirrors. The giant turn signal's got to go. I'm probably going to try a CRF 250F on this fender because, as typical for some reason, just like the KLX, they put these beak-shaped fenders on here. It looks like a duck, like opening its beak to eat a fish, like right there. So we're going to try a different fender, do some blackout vinyl on the forks. Got to get the strap off the seat, get those reflectors off the forks, chain guard off, passenger pegs off. We got to deal with this big conglomeration back here. I'm going to try to remove all of this and put a Polasport or a Cherubies fender and taillight setup on that. So we'll see what happens there. Probably going to try to take this massive storage compartment off of here. We'll see. We'll be doing lithium battery. I'm going to try to do something with the exhaust. Delcovic, I don't believe, lists an exhaust yet, or anyone else that's reasonably priced other than like Yoshimura. I'm going to probably modify this exhaust on my CRF 250L. I took that heat shield off and ground and cleaned the whole exhaust up, smooth it up. I'm not going to be hauling baggage over this. If I do, I'll get an aftermarket heat shield. Maybe pull the tip out, make the exhaust breathe a little better. See what we can do with the emissions on it. Foot pegs, I kept the foot pegs on my CRF 250L, and I'll probably keep them on this. They're actually as wide as the IMS pegs I have on the KLX back there. So, and we will eventually probably get to an oversized tank, but for the moment, we're going to go ahead and I can only do so much here to start. I have parts coming today, but I'm going to go ahead and get the tires popped off, do that, and go ahead and work on getting just some of these knick-knack things off that I don't want on the bike that I'm basically never going to use or need. Shave some weight off. So stay tuned and join me for the build on the 2023 CRF 300L, and we're going to see, once we get it built up, how it hangs with this guy back here. This guy's pretty sweet, even though they're both still underpowered, overweight turds. That's a pretty sweet bike. I do enjoy it. So we're going to see how this one. Also, suspension. I do have the secondary spring coming for the front and a replacement spring for the back. So we're going to also install those and see how it all works out. And then you can check in for all the builds, the vids. Peace out.